There we go. We're recording. We're good. Welcome. My name is Carrie Cootie. I'm so glad that you're here. I am coming in today and want to take a little bit of time to talk about the opportunity that lies within doTERRA. I am extremely excited and honored and blessed to be able to talk about this topic with you guys because it's one that has, thank you, Julie, it's one that has blessed my family tremendously. And honestly, I'll be really honest, I don't talk about it enough. And so thank you for joining me. I hope that you get something out of this. And if you do, I would love it if you would share it. This is definitely something that I want to live on and to be a resource for you guys to share with anybody that might be interested. And to be honest, you know, it might not be like a normal business opportunity call that you've been on, because I really want to pull on your heartstrings a little bit more than just the numbers, because, you know, you'll see that that's really, you know, the service and the integrity and the value that you provide. It always leads there anyway. So why doTERRA? Why now? We're going to kind of talk through this a little bit. And like I said, this has been on my mind for some time. And just knowing that I needed to do this, but just not making the time. So I'm glad that we're here together today. And I believe, you know, it's not very hard to see that we're kind of in a time where many people are seeking what doTERRA has to offer, whether that's products or whether that's the business opportunity, whether that's extra income for their family or they're replacing their income. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But you know, then I thought about it. How can I not share? That's very selfish, right? I don't want to withhold anything from anybody that could help them in some way. And of course, I share about the products more than I share about this, but that's going to change because this is an incredible opportunity that is here for anybody. While I was going through this, it kind of led me to a verse I wanted to share with you. It's from 1 Peter 4:10. And I actually had to underline in my Bible before this, so it must have been really important, right? It says, each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others, faithfully administering God's grace in various forms. And when I think about this opportunity and what it's done for me and what it's done for so many others, it brings me back to this verse because, you know, I'm kind of going to go through my story and weave it into these three different parts that I've kind of broken this up into. I'll tell you about that in just a second. But when I think about it, it really was a gift that I received so long ago that I didn't realize all the different parts and the ways that it would change my life. But what I felt really strongly was that it was a gift that I could not withhold from other people. And when we use the gifts that God gives us to serve other people, I believe that we're being good stewards of that. And so that verse really speaks to it. So like I said, this is probably not going to be maybe your typical business related call. Most of the time business opportunity calls are a lot about the numbers, mostly about the numbers, because dollar signs entice people, right? But like I said, I really want to pull on your heartstrings a little bit to help you truly understand how this could change the lives, not only your life, but the lives of others, really, and then inadvertently changing yours in a big way. And it's not solely about the money, but that will come with service, with love, with faith, with impact. It's kind of a byproduct. It just happens naturally. So let's talk about kind of three different parts of doTERRA. And like I said, I'm going to kind of weave my story in. And I love it if you're on live. Comment below if you have, you know, if this has impacted your life in any way. I know other people would love to see that and hear that. So please comment. I would love that. So first, let's talk about the product. You know, most of you maybe watching this call, maybe not, have been impacted by the product that doTERRA has. So essential oils, supplements, natural products to bring in your home. God knew I needed this product before I did. I felt a pull for a while, probably about a year before I actually found doTERRA and found essential oils. I knew that I was looking for something, I just didn't know what. But it's a true gift of the earth. That's what that's the meaning of doTERRA, is gift of earth. And it truly is. Like I said, I've been searching for them for about a year or more. But I was really looking for a way to clean up my home, kind of detoxify it. I was looking for ways to boost our immunity. I just had a baby. I was looking for just ways to be more preventative in our health. I've always loved prevention. and just kind of trying to do everything that I can and be a good steward of my body. And then of course now I have this baby, and I just felt this really incredible responsibility to do that even more for her. And so that's really why I was looking. But I knew right away when I first brought these into my home that it was exactly what I was looking for. And, the initial people that are oftentimes drawn to doTERRA are people that have already been taking really good care of themselves. And that was me, for the most part, right? We can always do better, but I was genuinely interested in that. And that's a lot of times what initially draws people into doTERRA. Not always, but those people are attracted. But what I look back and think is just unbelievable is that you don't realize how one decision can end up being one of the most pivotal decisions ever. It's actually crazy to me to think how many things have changed because of that one decision. And to me, it was a very easy decision. Obviously, I saw somebody posted about them online. I never went to a class or anything. I just, I kind of took a blind leap of faith, but it was easy. I'd already been looking for them for so long. That was a very easy decision, but other decisions wouldn't be as easy. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I 100% got into doTERRA for the product. That's what most people end up doing. They want to become a consumer of the product. They become a customer first, and maybe they continue to stay there. doTERRA is 80% customer base, right? It's not a business-led company. And that's interesting because that's really why you see the retention and the people that come and order over and over because they see the value in these products. And that's very, very key in a business like this. So, I came for the product and I continue to stay for the product. That was one of the reasons why when, people were interested, I would share, but then it would got to the point that I really needed to start teaching classes. And to me, I really needed to start taking it more seriously. And that was a harder step for sure. But what I kept going back to is, this is the way I would live my life anyway. So it didn't make sense. Like there was literally, there was very little reason that was not based on fear of why I shouldn't do this. But I knew that I'd be purchasing these for the rest of my life. There was no question about that. It was kind of like healthy food. It's kind of like, I'm not going to stop doing that. I'm not going to stop moving my body. It was like another pillar of health that was not going anywhere. I knew that these, I was invested personally for sure. And so let's talk about purity for just a second when we think about products. And especially essential oils. We use them topically, we breathe them in, we take them internally if it's a pure brand. And purity is one of the main reasons why all of this works so well. I continue to be blown away by the integrity and commitment of this company to pursue purity at all costs. And they pursue what's pure in every aspect of the word. And it's very hard to find that. And I'm going to talk about poking holes in this in just a minute. But there's true abundance on all sides of the bottle. It's way too much to go into here. But if you've ever heard of Healing Hands, that is a doTERRA, a part of doTERRA that really looks at service and how they can serve in a lot of different capacities. Excuse me, when you think about co-impact sourcing, this is the way that they really take care of the growers and where we actually get the essential oils. Those are whole other calls and just so much to say about that. But if you really look into these, if you do any digging and try to poke holes, you won't have much luck, honestly. They're truly doing it the right way, which in this industry has never been done. That's really why doTERRA was founded in the first place. Several of the executives came from another company. They were not happy with the practices and things like that. And that was their mission, to really stick to this integrous, pure standard that they set out to really fill a need that there was a great void, right, in this industry with essential oils. And so I'm going to put a blog post together that's going to include this video, and it's also going to have different tools that might make your digging and hole poking easier. But I really encourage you to do your own research, especially if you are looking into partnering with doTERRA and really sharing this with other people. You want to make sure that you understand why all of these things that I'm talking about. It's very important. It's a big picture, but all of these pieces really do matter. So like I said, I saw this product as one that I would continue to use and that would make a big impact in my own life. And I began to see those therapeutic properties that I was kind of learning about and that I was really experiencing for myself. They were actually taking me back to my pharmacy roots. It's kind of crazy. It was natural medicine. And if you look back, that's where pharmacy began. And my, has it taken a turn since then? But as I looked at around the pharmacy, and I thought about, all the medications and different things that we were giving out, I began to really feel that 95% of what we were dishing out could really no longer be needed if we looked to the root cause of what was going on in our health and really took charge of that on our own and didn't just look for Band-Aids. And that's exactly what these products do. They really help your body heal. They aid it in healing and giving it what it needs. And that's when I knew that God had put them in my life for a much greater reason than just for my own family and my own use. But he didn't want me to just he didn't want it to just impact my family. He wanted it to impact thousands more. And I was the messenger for that. And I felt that in a big way. Probably I would say 3 months or so. I kind of had been seeing it, but it really hit me. And I was very resistant to getting up in front of people, to even teaching my first class. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done because it was so out of my comfort zone. And I didn't know much about the business side of it, honestly. I mean, I'd gotten a few checks from doTERRA and I was like, this is great. I'm just kind of bebopping along and doing my thing. But I just felt the weight of all that was to come almost. And it was good and it was scary at the same time. But I knew there were people that were waiting on me to get over myself and to share and educate and do that without fear of what other people might think. But that's a lot easier said than done. And I'm still kind of, I think it's just levels, right? I mean, when I look back 7 years ago, I think actually my first class was around June 7 years ago. I think about how far I've come, but I think about how much further I'm excited to go too. It's kind of crazy to think about that, but I kept on learning and realized that this was kind of a no-brainer. It really made sense from every angle. As far as just as a medical professional especially, I see that doTERRA has, and I kept on learning, of course, about this. I think that's very important that we keep learning about the oils and about all the different aspects. But I realized there was no stone left unturned, from quality to purity to research to studies to partnerships to further this mission. It was all there. And it continues to be all there. And I know if you've been following along with me, you hear me and see me share various things, that maybe partnerships, maybe studies that are going on. Like, they are in it for the long haul, and they're in it because they know what it's going to take to really have validity in the minds of the medical world. And so they're doing all the things right, all the studies and all of that. So I love it. That's solid. So why right now? As far as the products, we're still talking about that. Why right now? I feel like the most obvious is that people are asking better questions, different questions than they ever have before. How can they be more prepared and feel more secure with their health? But also, how can they feel more secure financially? And that kind of leads us into my second point, which is pay. But let's take a quick detour and talk about the company and doTERRA, and so how they're positioned. Let's talk about that for just a minute. So doTERRA in itself is a debt-free, privately owned billion-dollar company. And that all of those pieces are very important. Debt-free, privately owned. That means that nobody is going to be weighing in and making them make decisions to better. And it's not all about dollars. I was talking about that on the call that I did last week about just everything that's going on. It's so much about money, and it's so much about politics. When you're debt-free and you're privately owned, nobody else is, you're not bought. You can make your own decisions and really let the good and the moral decisions lead you. And they don't have to satisfy anybody on Wall Street, nobody else. So I feel like that right there is very key when you think about the sustainability and the integrity of a company. Those are very big things. Obviously, $1 billion means that they've been very successful thus far. They're 12 years old and they're working on the second billion right now. So they are the largest, the most pure essential oil company in the world. Speaking about direct sales, they are the biggest direct sales company in the U.S. They have over 8 million. We have over 8 million customers right now. And like I said, about 80% of those are customers and about 20% are wellness advocates, people that choose to share or, just casually, or they choose to do it a little bit, at a bigger level. But it's a product-led company for sure. Education is very key in doTERRA, which really separates it and puts it in another league, honestly, than any other essential oil company. I know I've talked to many others that, that was one of the main things that was missing. And so I love that they lead with that. And that's very important to me, of course. I always want to make sure people are educated. So let's talk about pay in my life. Let's talk about this in my story. So, of course, I got into it because of the products, but the pay was one thing that I really didn't know that I needed, let's say. I was a pharmacist and I was making good income. It wasn't something that I just, I was living paycheck to paycheck per se. I mean, we were doing good. But we still had student loan debt. I still had about $120,000 of student loan debt. Just to be real with you, I mean, this is a real thing. People have major student loans these days, especially if you go to higher level education. And so I still had that. I thought they would be paid off for years, but not a whole lot of debt outside of that. But I think these things weigh you down a lot more than you realize. And I think you just learn to deal with them. But God knew. He knew that I needed this part of the puzzle. I'd been with doTERRA for about 2.5 years when we really buckled down and paid off all those student loans in 18 months. I still can't believe we did it. We actually also paid off my car during that time. I had a little bit left on that, but we really wanted to do that because it took about that long for my husband to see that this was a viable, source of income, and it was sustainable, and that I wasn't going to go somewhere else and do something else. Like, it kind of took that long, but once we realized that, and I was like, I want to do this. And so we buckled down, we paid off those loans, and talk about a great feeling when you pay off that last student loan payment. Like I said, I didn't think that was going to come for years, but it was gone. And so that freed me up to be able to leave my pharmacy job, because I'd already replaced most of my income over those, now that would have been 4 years. So that was a great journey up until that point, but that was definitely a hard decision to leave my job. But I knew this is what I was supposed to be doing. And I had continued to work pharmacy for a couple of days a month, give or take. But recently I felt God saying, okay, it's time to walk away completely. Of course, still keep my license, but not work in the setting anymore. And so, July is going to be my last month. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's been a dream for a while. And so, God said it's time. So I have to be obedient. But, this is what he wants me to do. He's shown me that time and time again. And I'm very thankful that he's made that clear, because sometimes we need assurance more than we probably should. But I ask for clarity so much, and he's gracious in giving me that. And I think if any of us ask, we will receive that. So, I've been shown, like I said, time and time and again, even though this is not easy, to say that doTERRA has blessed my family financially would be a great understatement. It's changed a lot for us. It's almost too much to comprehend sometimes. I never thought that I'd be able to work from home. I never thought I'd be able to be present with my kids as much as I am. And that's been a dream that I didn't really know I had, because I didn't think that it would ever exist in that way. And just think about now during this time, I was able to easily transition to having my kids at home. I say easily. Of course, it took a lot of prayer and patience, but, it wasn't like I had to go to work, except for a couple of days that I worked at the pharmacy. What a blessing that is. It just took off so much stress of trying to find somewhere for them to stay. And so I just think about that in itself has been a blessing, and something that I know others have struggled with, and I'm thankful for that. When I left my full-time job 4 years ago, in February it was, that year, my pay increased 400% in 1 year. And I wasn't making nothing to start with. And I look back at that just because I wanted to make sure before I did this that was correct, and it was. And it's just like, wow, where else are you going to see that? Not anywhere else that I've ever seen. And so I think that my hard work and consistency were for sure paying off way more than I ever imagined. And that really consistency is where it's at. It makes me think of a verse, and I have it here. Proverbs 13:11 says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." And so when I think about a get rich quick scheme or opportunity, this is not it. Of course, there are different ways that we get paid in doTERRA, and one of those is called Fast Start. And that is, you get paid a little bit quicker as far as that. It kind of gives you a little bit of money to have to invest back in your business or do whatever you need to do with it. But really where you see the wealth over time is going to be in the long term. And they've set up that very, very well and very generously. So why now? Why now as far as the pay that's related to doTERRA? Many are looking for a different way in their finances. And residual income that is what is what we get in doTERRA is it's a very, you don't think about it when you're in that 9-to-5 mentality, like, does this really exist? It really does, and it's such a blessing. And I think that with everything changing, it's even more of a blessing and more of something that people are looking at because they want to know that the security is there. I know we're not really secure. We don't know the future in that way. I know God knows that, right? But we just have that little bit of stability through the residual income. And, just in case you can't leave your home and go to your job. I mean, those are real things that we're dealing with right now. And it's hit a lot of people very, very hard. And so, just speaking about doTERRA, like most companies, they want you to make money quick because they know that you're probably going to hop onto something else. But the deeper your roots grow, the more you earn with doTERRA. And so, with this opportunity, with the product being so amazing, people stick around and they continue to order because they see that they're getting all of these benefits. And so we have one of the highest retention rates in any direct selling company, which is 67%. And so that means that people continue to order. And they're going to, I know, like I said, I would never want to be without these. I would always continue to have these products. Many other people feel like that as well. And so you earn by helping others. It's such a service-based business, which is awesome. And there's no competition with other people that you're helping. When they succeed, you succeed. There, a lot of other times there's a competition between people on your own team. It doesn't make sense when you think about it, right? Why wouldn't it be this way? But a lot of other compensation plans in other companies are not set up this way. And so it's a brilliant model in that way. But there's several different ways that you get paid. I'm not going to go into that right now. But I can talk about it on another call, one-on-one, if you need more information on that or want more information. But the compensation plan is the best by far in the industry. If you were to compare it, it's very generous and it sets us up to really reap the rewards of the work that we're doing. But I just want to, encourage you. Your journey does not have to look like mine. I didn't realize it at first, but after a while, after I saw that this was like legit, I guess you could say, I was like, this is my way out. Like, I didn't want to be at the pharmacy. It wasn't fulfilling. It was taking me away from my family. It was not something that I wanted to continue to do. And so I busted it and worked really, really hard and was able to leave that. And so everybody's not like that though. Maybe you love your job. Maybe you just want a little bit of extra money. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a supplement. It can be just a little bit of extra money. It could be to pay off debt, whatever you want it to be. There's so many people that continue and love their job and continue to do that, but want to share with people because they love the product, of course. And so I just want you to realize that. But I think something that I didn't realize is when we're financially free, we can truly start making a bigger change in the world. And like I said, you know, it wasn't like I was doing just terrible before this, and I don't want to paint the wrong picture for you guys, but I do want to let you know that sometimes those debts that we have and really not being financially free does weigh us down way more than we think it does. And I knew that I wanted to make a big change in the world. And so that was a big part of it that I didn't realize. It's not about gaining wealth, and it's not about hoarding money at all. It's about making a bigger impact. And so let's skip on down to the last part that I want to speak on is people. So the community that doTERRA attracts literally are the best people. Like I said, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just said, hey, I want these oils, you know, here is my money. But what I realized afterwards was I got into an awesome community that taught me so much. Like, it was literally exactly what I was looking for. And the integrity starts at the top and goes down in doTERRA, 100%. And I've yet to find maybe a handful of people in the 7.5 years that I've been with doTERRA that weren't top notch. And what normally happens is they get weeded out because the light will drown out the darkness really fast. And so that's just what happens. The community, the people I've met through doTERRA, and the community that I have, you know, created through helping people, and they help people, and you know, you just create this community, and it's a beautiful thing. And I don't think I really realized how much I needed that either. You know, it's like before I was kind of just out here on my island doing what I do and kind of going along my merry way, but there was this whole other group of people that I didn't know that I needed. And then you just start to surround yourself with all of these amazing people that really encourage you to be the best version of you. And so I felt kind of like I hit the jackpot for sure, in a lot of different ways when doTERRA came into my life. But the community has honestly probably been my favorite. I actually asked some people that are on within my organization to just share a few things, and one of the main threads through that was the community. The people that they've met through doTERRA, whether it's the customers that they've been able to help, or whether it's the teammates that they've kind of brought on and really joined arms with, that was their favorite part. And I think sometimes, you know, we don't have to be out here doing things on our own to really join arms with other people that are on the same mission as you. It's pretty incredible. But when I look around at all the people that I would not know and that would not be my friends, some that are my very good friends, it just makes me even more thankful that I said yes so long ago, and that I kept on following the breadcrumbs. But this also made me think about another verse. It's one of my favorite ones. It's in James 1:4. I actually have it written on my whiteboard over here. It says, perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. And obviously God pushes us toward that, right? But I feel like the community that it was within doTERRA does that too. They continue to push me to get over myself and leave my idols behind, leave those preconceived notions behind, and just continue to serve people in a very genuine and loving way. So lastly, I just want to kind of hit on the fact of something that might be kind of a story that has been in your mind, or that you've heard other people talk about, or maybe a preconceived idea. And that is that, why is doTERRA sold in this model, in a direct sales or multi-level marketing model? This is a barrier for a lot of people, honestly, and it has been one for me as well. Because most people have a story, or like I said, they have some kind of preconceived idea. And like I said, honestly, I was turned off by this model, and you know, and I've really had to work through that. It's really interesting how I didn't really know much about that, and that this was that model when I got started, or else I might not have. But gosh, I sure am glad that I didn't, right? Because it was really of my own knowledge that I thought was true, and those own ideas that I've had. But it does hold a lot of people back, because there is this maybe negative stigma in your mind, or maybe somebody else's mind. But I will tell you that the reason they chose this model is that it would not have worked any other way. They could not put these on a store shelf and expect them to impact lives like they do now. They wanted to go through with this model because they wanted to impact people in the biggest way that they could. And they wanted us to receive, as wellness advocates, as people that educate ourselves and then go out and give that education and guidance to other people. They wanted us to be the one that got the marketing money, let's say, right? They don't spend any money on marketing because it's all going to us. And so that's really key in this. And it would not have worked any other way. And so that's why they chose this person-to-person model is a much better way to put it, in my opinion. And honestly, a lot of times, there's so many different reasons why, you know, people might think this is a bad model. Maybe it's because you've been approached by somebody and just tried to kind of had this business opportunity pushed on you, or maybe it was a product and it wasn't a great product, and it was a bad experience for whatever reason it might have been. And honestly, that was probably why I thought that as well. And it was really because the product was not solid. That's why I didn't think this business model worked, and why sometimes it gets a bad name. But I think that the three things that I went through, as far as the product, the pay, the people, those are three very important things when you're thinking about an opportunity like this, and why it's important to know about each one of those and really look through that in detail. So I want to kind of end with the fact that none of the people that have been successful in doTERRA, including myself, are much different than you. Who does well in this? You know, if you're thinking, I don't know about this, it just seems kind of out there for me, and I'm not sure. You know, Carrie, you're a pharmacist, and so, you know, I bet you had, you know, a leg up when you first started. Well, I certainly didn't think that. Maybe to some people I did, maybe not. There's certainly more people that had lots of better qualities for, you know, extroverted personalities or relationship building or whatever it might have been. But the thing that I see as a through line of people that are successful in this is people that are resourceful, people that are willing to learn, people that are helpers. They want to help and serve people. People that they have a drive, they have a dream, they want to impact the world in a bigger way. Even if you might not know it yet, you know, I think you have that in your heart sometimes, and there hasn't been the right opportunity that kind of led you to that. They have a hunger for change. And I know that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to pursue this, because I wanted to change the way that we take care of ourselves. And I wanted to change and just give people more opportunities and more products and different things that they could have at their disposal to really help as far as the preventative side of self-care and all of that, and not rely so much on the medical system. That's very much one of my passions, and especially as a pharmacist, that was big for me. You know, people that do well with this, they know that nature is powerful, and that the lab doesn't know as much as nature does. And so all of these things are really important when you think about, you know, people that do well. So I want to leave you with where to start because you're like, I'm not really sure. So I think it's very important to start with the products, to start as a customer. That's where most people start, and to continue learning, whether you're already a customer right now or you're not at all. I think that would be a great place to start, is to get these in your home, or if you already have them, continue to learn. Learner is one of my top 5, so it maybe becomes easier to me. I just love to learn, but I think it just draws you in. There is so much to learn about this, and the more you learn, the more fascinating it is, and the more that you want to learn almost. So continue to do that. Continue to use them in your home. That's very important. You can't really come from a place of service if you don't know why you're serving, right? You have that passion because you've seen what it's done in your life. That is absolutely one of the keys to this, and to really anything. You shouldn't really want to tell other people unless you've had those experiences yourself and can speak from that. But you're going to need a season, depending on what you really want to do with this. If you really want to start sharing with people, or you know, maybe take more of the path that I did, and maybe you're unhappy with your job, or maybe you just have a big vision for change. You're going to need to educate people. That's one of the basic and very elementary things that we do that really makes this this whole thing work, right? It really does stem from that. And so teaching classes is something that I've done for so long, but it's one of the things I'll continue to do, because that's the way that you help people understand and to really integrate these in their life and keep on learning, right? That's kind of the start of their learning. But, you know, I say that you're going to need a season of teaching weekly for about 3 months if you really want to get this thing off the ground, let's say. But you're going to be given everything that you need. I want to encourage you with that. I think, obviously I started almost 7.5 years ago. There was so much less than there is now. There are resources for everything that you need. Absolutely. You don't have to know anything about essential oils to start. Obviously, you need to begin learning yourself, but taking that out to other people, you're going to have everything that you need. I want to share lastly about a very unique opportunity that we have within doTERRA right now at the time of this recording, which is in May of 2020. So they just announced recently that they are beginning the new Founders Club 2.0. And so let me take you back just a little bit to 12 years ago when doTERRA was founded. There was a Founders Club, original Founders Club back then. And it was just the first people that really wanted to invest in this opportunity and, start sharing with people and whatnot. So there was that Founders Club, and now they've launched a new one. The founders of a company obviously get compensated very well because of their efforts, because of their consistency, and because of their drive. It's something that is a very highly coveted position for sure, and it's an incredible opportunity that's happening right now. And so I just wanted to make sure that you knew about this, because it's interesting that I was actually on a call with one of the founders last night, and we've been kind of looking at ways that you gain these founder positions, and it's based on points. I'm not going to go into that right now, but just looking at it, it's easier for a new person, a new wellness advocate coming in, to actually earn a founder spot than it is for somebody like me that has been in it longer. And you might think it's the opposite, but it's not. And so that I really want to encourage you with that. If you're really looking to make big change in the world, and you feel that this is your vehicle, there's never been a better time than right now. This opportunity is one that, once those 200 spots, once they fill up, it will be gone I don't know if they'll do a Founders Club 3.0, I'm not sure, but for years and years, there won't be another opportunity like this. And so I could not do this call and mention that, but I just want you to know that I want you to do your own research. I want you to listen to maybe why you jumped on this call, why you're still on this call. I hope that you learned something. I hope that it's made you think in a little bit of a different way. In this time of the recording as well, if you're watching this later, this is the time that the world kind of has gotten shaken up in the last few months, and we're kind of rethinking everything. I know that I am. I know that have never been more grateful for this opportunity that I continue to have to show up from the comfort of my own home. Obviously, there were some things that we did in person, but it was very easy to do this online now. I did most of my business online. And just to create those communities and create a movement that is really changing the world and the way that we take care of ourselves. And really, there's so much opportunity, you guys. People are desperate for these options in their home and in their health. And so I just pray that you really take this to heart and just see how you can be a part of this, whether it's just sharing with your neighbors and your family and your friends, or whether it's bigger. Maybe you're like, gosh, Gary, I really love your story. I would love to really do the same thing. Either way, I just encourage you to think about how you can make a difference and really share your story at just a very basic level, and encourage other people to really think more about these products and these tools they can have in their home. So I thank you for joining me today. And I do want to close this in prayer, because I feel like it's very important to pray about these different opportunities and ways that God is bringing these things into our life. So I'm going to pray for us. God, thank you so much for this call today and just prompting me to do it, God. I know that there are people here that really needed to hear this, and that really, I pray for their hearts in the ways that they're going to be changed. And I just pray that they're open to whatever you're doing in their life. And I just can't thank you enough for bringing this into my life so long ago. And And I just pray that you would continue to work through me, and that you would allow me to really come behind people and encourage them in the way that other people have encouraged me in the past, and that I could pay that forward, and that anybody that's listening that feels the pull, that they would really look more into that, and not be, not let that be stifled by fear, because I know that for so long that has held me back in a lot of different areas. And so I just pray that none of that would take hold in their life, and that you would really be able to work through them. God, I thank you for everything you do for us. I pray this in your name. Amen. Thank you all for joining me so much. I love being with you today. As I said, I will have this recording up. It'll be a whole blog post that you can share with people. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you all later. Bye, everybody.